Good morning, dear students. In the previous class, I have explained about the concept of political science and the process of development in political science and the political thinkers and their contributions. Okay, and let us see in this class the importance of political science. Yes, as we know, the first person, that is the Aristotle, he was the first Greek thinker and he is known as the father of political science because he has taken a systematic study of the political science. Yes, so that's why he is known as father of political science. So political science is also the study of past, present and future political institutions and political functions and as well as political theories. Yes, and also it studies about the state and the government and human political activities. Yes, so that's why it is known as the political science. Yes, the political science, it is nothing, it is the study between the human and the government. Yes, that is human political activities and the government. Yes, the political science, it studies the relations between the human political activities and the government. So in this class I am going to explain about the importance of political science. Okay, so the knowledge of political science is essential in the present age. Yes, so nowadays we are living in societies. Yes, and we should know about the our state and the which types of government is there. Yes, and what are the rights and fundamental duties of each citizens. Yes, so that's why we have to know about the political science, and we should know what are the duties of each citizen. Yes, so and also the progress and development of states depend upon the thinking, knowledge and political involvement of the people. Yes, so the progress and the development of states, it's depend on the people of that particular country. Yes, if the people are very knowledgeful. Yes, so the development or the progress of country, it will be rises or increase. Yes, yes, and the political environment of the people, it is also very important. Yes, so the people can lead a successful government. Yes, so if the successful government or the efficient government came into existence, came to power, then only a nation can grow. Okay, so the involvement of the people, it is very important in the political science. Yes, so let us see what are the importance. Yes, or what are the benefits of studying political science. Okay, so political science, it helps to understand the birth and growth of state. Yes, so political science, it helps us to growth and origin of the state. Yes, if you study the political science subject, then we can know about the which types of government is there. Yes, and how our state become our powerful state. Yes, and what are the contributions of freedom fighters. Yes, and so many thinkers and the political leaders are there. Yes, we have to know about that all things, and it also provides information about the type of governments and political activities involved in the function of the state. Yes, and so political science, it also provides information about the origin and the development of ideas such as monarchy, freedom, justice, laws and equality and good government, wars and peace, etc. Yes, if we study political science, so you can get idea about the monarchy. There are different types of government. Yes, monarchy is there, democratic government is there, yes, presidential types of government is there, yes, socialist government is there. So which types of government we are following, so we should know when we study political science. And also we can get the information, or we can learn the different types of concept. So they are freedom. Yes, what is the meaning of freedom? Yes, if you study the political science, then only we can know the freedom, yes, and the justice. Yes, the Indian judiciary system. Yes, there are two types of courts. The higher court is Supreme Court. Yes, we can't appeal. Yes, and also in the state level there are high courts. Yes, and we also know about the laws. Yes, there are so many laws, and that all laws we can understand when we study political science. And we can also know about the equality. Yes, and a good government. Yes, what are the futures of good government? Yes, if you study the political science, then only we can know, yes, what are the futures of good government. Yes, and next, if you study political science, we can easily know, yes, what are the different words that had been taken in the previous age. Yes, and the concept of peace. Yes, so these are some importance of political science. So we can also know about the structure and the functions of the state and government. Is the structure of state government and the structure of central government. Yes, there are two houses in the state government and as well as central government. In the state government there are two houses, namely Vidhan Sabha and the Vidhan Parishad. In the central government there are also two houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Yes, if we study the political science, then we can easily know how the structure of that all two states has been created. Yes, so, and also what are the qualifications are there to become a MLA and MP. Yes, and also in the light of the past and the present activities of the government, political science, it helps to plan the future activities of the state. Yes, and it also helps to establish modern welfare state. Yes, so, and also political science, it provides knowledge of the constitution and laws of the state. Yes, the political science, if you study the political science, so we can get information about the constitution, and there are so many laws are there. Yes, constitution. So the constitution is a supreme book which rules all nation. Yes, so we can easily get information about the constitution if you study the political science. Yes, so our Indian constitution is a very vast constitution. It has 450 and more than article, 450 plus articles are there. Yes, and political science, it also helps to understand the organs of the government, that is legislature, executive and judiciary and their functions. Yes, in the political science there are the organs of the government. Yes, they are the legislature and executive and judiciary. All three organs have their functions. Yes, if you study the political science, then we can get information of these three organs functions. And political science, it develops political consciousness among the people. Yes, if you have idea about the political science, then you can also involve the political activities. If you don't have any idea, then you could not participate in the political activities. Yes, this is true. And it keeps the government and the people politically alert and active. Yes, And also the knowledge of political science, it helps leaders and civil servants to understand and solve the problems of the people effectively. Yes. And the knowledge of political science, it helps the raise good leadership and good citizenship. Yes. And also political science, it helps to understand the important political institutions like political parties, federations and local bodies. Yes. So there are so many political parties in India. Yes. And there are so many leaders are also there. So what are their contributions? Yes, we should know about if we have awareness of the political science. Yes. And also there are local bodies is there. Yes, Taluka Panchayat, Jilla Panchayat, yes, and Gram Panchayat. These are our local bodies, and as well as Mahanagar Palikas, yes, town and municipalities are there. Yes, if you know political science, then we can easily get idea of all this. And political science, it deals the ideologies which inspire the influence political involvement of people. Yes. And also political science provides the knowledge of international relationship, especially the occurrence of wars among nations and the importance of peace and cooperation. Yes. So these are the importance of political science. And thus the study of political science, it helps us to understand the need for a state and good governance of the state and the role of the leaders and people's participation. Yes. So being a citizen of a country, so there are so many fundamental duties we have. So what are the fundamental duties? Yes. So if you have idea about the political science or the constitution, yes, so we should follow that all fundamental duties. Yes. And political science, it also helps the people to become good, responsible, cultured and active citizens. Yes. If you know about the what are the functions and what are the duties of every citizens, then political science is become, or it helps to people to become a good and responsible and cultured and active citizen of that particular country. And also the knowledge of political science, it contributes to the establishment of just a peaceful, progressive and happy state. And also the millions and millions of people for a long time everywhere. Yes. So the political science, it also helps to establish a peaceful and progressive and happy state. Yes. So these are the importance of political science. So there is a video, yes, that is also shows the importance of political science. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to this new tutorial. Today we are going to talk about why study politics, or what is the importance of political science. So without wasting much time, let us begin the importance of political science. This entire tutorial will have 16 major points which will help us to understand why study politics, or what is the importance of political science. Let's take point number 1. The first point clearly talks about why we need to study political science. It's only because to understand the individual or citizen's relations with state. The very important part of this is that citizens are very important component of citizens. They are the one who contribute to the society, state by paying either taxes or by directly participating in the form of election. Point number 2. to study political thoughts and ideas of the great political thinkers. In fact, over a period of time, the great political thinkers like Chanakya, Plato, Aristotle, and etc. have contributed a lot to the growth of a political science and a political thought by and large. Next, third, to understand the current political problems and find solutions. Political science subjects also talks about various issues related to state. It talks about various problems which common man suffers. Example, we talk about corruptions, we talked about basic human rights, and sometimes the human rights have been suppressed. There has been violence committed either by the group of non-state actors or sometimes by the state itself. So therefore, political science also talks about understanding the current political problems and finding the right solution within the framework of the society and a constitution. Next, to make people conscious about their rights and obligations or duties. Now, one must understand that rights and duties are the two sides of the same coin. You cannot enjoy rights without duties, and you cannot perform duties without certain rights. Now, rights are the most important aspects of any individual. Rights are the one which always help individual to grow as an individual as well as to grow his or her talent. Therefore, one must be conscious about his own human rights. Human rights which talks about greater freedom, trust, justice, love, rule of law, peace, prosperity, dignity, and equality. So therefore, political science enlightens an individual to know his or her own rights and duties and obligations towards the state. Next, it talks about to understand the current trends. In a 21st century and a globalized world, today's political trends are different. In fact, social media has become one of the most important changing trends as far as democracy or a people connect to the democracy. Beside this social media trend, we have more upcoming issues which are being debated daily either in the media in terms of electronic media, digital media, or print media. These are gay rights, marriage rights, equality, women issues, racism, equality, education, civil rights, healthcare, and etc. etc. Next, political science talks about to provide information about international law, international legislation, organizations, and maintenance of world peace and international brotherhood. And for last 7 decades, it is United Nations organization which has held its flag high in the support of a basic protection of human rights and maintaining some sort of a international order with peace and security. Beside UN, we have European Union, a cluster of nations which has put together a supranational spirit of the common understanding within the Europe, and this has become a classic example wherein an entire region can work together for a political, social, and economic growth of the region. And at very regional level, we have ASEAN, a group of countries from Southeast of Asia, and our very own SAARC, which stands for South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Now, these are some of the examples which has worked out over a period of time to maintain some kind of international order, some kind of international peace, and therefore political science gives us a broader picture of how and why political science is important at international level. Now, political science is incomplete without understanding the role of political parties and pressure group. And therefore, the next point talks about to analyze political parties and pressure groups. Political parties and pressure groups are again very important institution of a democracy. There has to be a pull and pressure, and therefore within the democratic setup, political parties plays a most important role as far as delivering services to the common man is concerned, and therefore pressure groups also try and play a very important role on behalf of the public to put enough pressure on the government to deliver services for a common man. Next, political science is also very important to make people vigilant, develop a spirit of cooperation, adjustment, and tolerance. Well, A spirit of cooperation, adjustment, and tolerance is one of the most important aspects of human civilization. If we today talk about a growth of human civilization, it's all because of the man's contribution towards a common objective, common goal, either through adjustment, cooperation, or tolerance towards another community or another religion. Next, to study great political events like French Revolution, American War of Independence, and freedom movements of India. These three events, by and large, has contributed a lot to the greater prospects of political science. Example, the French Revolution has added on two very important aspects or terms in political science, which is equality and fraternity. Similarly, American War of Independence is a great champion of civil liberty and freedom, and India's freedom movement in India has again contributed to a larger framework of non-violence movement led by the great Mahatma Gandhi, the father of nation. Next, it also helps us to understand to form public opinion. Now, public opinion is one of the most important aspects of democracy. In fact, it is also been called as dissent. In fact, the opinion of public matters a lot as far as the functions and performance of the government, whether it is a democracy or any other form of a democracy. In modern world, the public opinion is one of the most important input in the democracy, and therefore the larger picture of political science also talks about the importance of public opinion within the framework of political science. In short, public opinion is nothing but the power which people enjoys in democracy. Next, to help people to safeguard their liberty. Freedom is the most important aspect of one's life, and therefore we must understand that man by birth has born free, and his freedom cannot be curtailed by any other organization. In fact, in the modern time, or since time immemorial, people have fought for the very essence of a freedom and liberty, and therefore political science helps us to understand the importance of a freedom in contemporary era, as well as to appreciate and support the struggle for freedom and liberty. Next, political science also helps us to understand and prevent to misuse of power of government. Government is the most important feature of any state or a society. In fact, finally, what government stands for? Government stands for the people, because it is the people who have voted the government in power, and therefore it is government responsibility to fulfill the requirements and the needs of its citizens. But when government misuses its power, then it is the people by and large who have the power to take down that government democratically by the use of election and not the violence. Next, political science also talks about to study the quality of government and administration. The quality of a government and administration, it depends on how its citizens and subjects enjoys their rights and perform their duties and share their responsibility with the government. Another very important point to understand the quality of the government and administration, it's its democratic nature or the functioning. In fact, the best example would be election periods. Election must therefore conduct smoothly and freely without any interference of force, money, or any other sort of material things. Next, political science also helps us to understand the knowledge of political terminology. Political science is a very broad subject. It not only talks about politics, decision, government, corruption, democracy, affairs, powers, parties, ideas, citizens, but it also talks about elections, healthcare, decision, legislation, liberal political views, law, power, and etc. etc. Next, to develop and strengthen a liberal democratic values and awareness. Therefore, the core democratic values are rule of law, separation of power, representative government, checks and balance, freedom of religion, civilian control of the military, federalism, individual rights, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, common good, justice, equality, diversity, truth, popular sovereignty, and patriotism. And at last, political science also helps us to understand the political decision making process. The political decision making process is one of the most important aspects of any state and society. Therefore, the various institutions which has contributed to build this nation and society plays a very important role as far as decision making process is concerned. I hope you have understood the importance of political science. If you like this video, then do give us a like. Do share this video to the larger community of political science students. Please do comment and voice out your opinion. Do subscribe to the political science tutorial. Thank you. See you soon in next tutorial.